cases are all coming as well, even though I don't know if I know anyone that's actually going to use that case. Still, it's a certified from Apple case. Oh my god, what happened to this case? Looks disgusting. Oh, this is the one that broke apart. Well, maybe we should throw it away. I don't we'll just, they're small, I'll throw them in here at the last second. And now the shelves are gone of all of the old Apple computers. There were some Google boxes down here, the Google Home Max box. Pixel boxes were right there. You can still kind of see their footprints, and Google Home Mini boxes were there. We had the old Macintoshes here. They're all slowly making their way over to, look at that, you can tell that was an iMac base because of the shape. The dust is much more visible over here, as where the HomePod boxes were. These are, I think, the last two computers I need to transport over to my house. But yeah, as per last vlog, everything's coming over very, very slowly, but don't worry, that won't be every vlog. I have some more interesting things to talk about today. There was a bunch of junk in front of the office this morning. Really weird. There was a backpack and a bunch of magazines just scattered out in front of the office, and among one of the things I found in the backpack was this. And I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but the more I looked at it, I started to realize this is like one of those mobile Verizon LTE modems. Basically, you're able to plug this into a computer, and via LTE chip, which this actually has, you can pop out this big ol' card, except it's not the kind of SIM card that you could put into a smartphone. This is just some kind of weird, bigger version of an LTE chip, but it is 4G LTE, though I don't think it's active anymore because I tried to plug this into a computer and I wasn't able to get any signal out of it, even though it lit up a little bit. It took me a while to figure out because I've never actually used one of these things, but you have to spin it like that, and then the USB plug pops out of it like that, and you plug it into your computer and it pivots around. Been trying to figure out why this was left in someone's backpack, why they left it in front of my office, and why they allowed it to just kind of be scattered across the parking lot, but it's most likely something a homeless person stole and then left here, because there have been cases of homeless people just kind of sleeping outside the office from time to time. I haven't seen someone do that in a long, long time, but I have seen it happen once, so I imagine that's probably what happened last night. They carried some magazines in someone's backpack and this around with them. Doubt it works at all because, like I said, I plugged it in, didn't get any signal on it, and you probably have to activate them or set them up and have account names and phone numbers and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much a dead end. I'm debating just kind of leaving it out there maybe, but whoever that may have originally belonged to, it's probably long gone for them now. I looked them up online. They're really not worth that much. That particular model I think you can buy new for about $100, but I wouldn't try to sell it. It's not really worth my time, but just kind of a weird thing that happened today. That and one other thing that was quite bizarre, but sadly was not good news. I was not happy about this. Essentially, I've been dealing with this problem on my Instagram, which sadly Instagram doesn't have much you can do about this because while it's a very big platform and there's a lot of people there, they don't really have that many reporting policies in place. Like if someone steals your content and reposts it, there's really no consequences to that. Like someone can just get away with reposting other people's stuff and never crediting them, and it won't matter because there's very little rules on Instagram. You can just kind of post and steal and re-upload as much as you want. Another problem that I'm just now running into that I've not had to deal with in the past is rating. There are huge Instagram accounts on the platform that are literally just dedicated to rating on people, which if you don't know what rating is, it's essentially someone who usually has a pretty big following. They have a lot of people under their account name, and they'll tell all of their fans or all of their followers to go comment something or post something in the comment section of someone else's page in order to clutter their notifications, fill them up with the same thing over and over again so that they can't genuinely use the notifications tab and see what are people commenting or what people are saying about their posts. And now I've had a fairly large Instagram page come at me multiple times, mostly just pasting on this one Instagram picture I posted of two iPhones next to each other saying iPhones are meant for creative people. And I meant that in a way of like iOS is very creative apps and very pro-oriented apps, and iPhones can record, 4K at 60 on multiple lenses for as much as you want. They have stereo audio recording. They'll ship partnership with iMovie. There's a lot of great creative things Apple products have to offer people. So many musicians out there that use Logic. John Morrison's talked about how applicable the iPad Pro can be with apps like LumaFusion. Apple's even used LumaFusion in their apps, and I just like to put a little catchphrase or something when I make posts on my Instagram page. So that particular day, I was just saying iPhones are good for creative people who like making videos and taking pictures and just overall being artistic. And it was no hit on Android. It was no saying like, Androids suck or I hate Androids. And yet there's these Instagram pages with huge followings that legit are just dedicated to people who hate on iOS, not necessarily with facts, not necessarily with logic or the understanding of, well, I prefer Android, but you can prefer iPhone and that's okay. We still respect each other. This is like dedicated to disrespecting people who don't like iOS, saying they're lesser people or they're dumb or they're lower IQs or they're just idiots overall, which in my opinion is just kind of taking us all back to square one YouTube, where everyone just kind of picked a tech brand or an operating system like a sports team, you know, because sports teams, some of the times they perform great, other times they perform horribly, but you'll notice fans of those particular teams will non-stop root for them even if they're having a bad season, and there's no logic really to back it up. It's legit just, we're the best, even though the players change, the coaches change. The only thing that doesn't change is the uniforms and the logos and the jerseys that the players wear, and you're really just rooting for those t-shirts, you're rooting for those jerseys. And I feel like every so often we find these pocket of people on the internet that take technology back to the sports days, where all that matters is you're on my side or you're not on my side. And if you're not on my side, then you're an idiot and I hate you and you're stupid and you have a low IQ and you're an idiotic person, and then we just yell at each other and make fun of each other's personalities. And I've really made an effort in my career on YouTube to avoid that. Like, it's intentional that I'm open about my bias, and I want everyone to know that that's not some sort of agenda for me to get everyone to switch to Apple. That's not my goal, or I want everyone to use iPhones. My goal is I come forward and say, I have this preference. That way you, the viewer, can feel more comfortable about coming forward with a preference. And you can say you like Android, and I'm not going to disrespect you for that. As I've mentioned countless times, and there's probably long-term viewers of the Tailosive Network here that have heard me give this speech a million times. It's just sad that here we are in 2019, and there's still like thousands of people that still can't grasp that people might have preferences. Just because you have a ton of customization doesn't necessarily mean that it's worth sacrificing optimization or ecosystem benefits. Anytime you list a counter-argument to these people, they immediately don't care about your counter-argument because that doesn't relate to them. And if it doesn't relate to me, then it's irrelevant, and that just makes you stupid. Well, I guess this problem was escalated because we had a raid in our Discord server today where a bunch of people from that particular Instagram page started coming into our Discord server, which genuinely I am pretty proud of. I try to be active in our Discord server as much as possible, and what I'm proud of in our Discord community, I laugh because I think of I'm so proud of this community meme, but yeah. What I'm so proud of is some of the most active people in our Discord server are not Apple sheep. A lot of them are Android users, and Android users and iOS users and Windows users and Mac users can go into that Discord, and there are of course exceptions. There are things we always disagree on, but ultimately we do our best to respect each other in there, and we try to be friendly to one another and understand that someone has a preference and that's okay. You can like that thing, I can like this thing. We can still go about our day and be nice people. We don't have to insult each other. We don't have to be mean to one another when we're debating about smartphones. And it's not like as primal as just saying iOS is trash or Android is garbage, I hate Android. Like, it's not that simple. It's like, I understand that Android has its advantages, and I also understand that iOS has its advantages. This is why I choose iOS, or this is why I choose Android. And ultimately, I think there can be very, very healthy discussion that goes on in there. And when the raids start coming in and they throw all that out, I'm just teleported back to like middle school days, where that's how we used to argue about things. Just yell at people and tell them they're stupid, and just constantly spam them and hoping that if the other person sees enough spam, they'll somehow change their mind. I don't even think that's how it works. I don't even think the mindset of those people is that if we spam this person, they'll change their mind. I legit think it's we don't want them to change their mind. It's literally that because you have a different opinion than me, I'm going to annoy you. I'm not going to try to have a rational conversation about it. I legit just want you to be annoyed, and I want to be on your nerves, basically. I want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to feel a sense of pain. I want you to be annoyed and tired of doing your job or tired of being who you are by annoying you. It's so juvenile to treat a topic that way that it's really quite depressing to me, because for the most part, I interact with a lot of people that I think are good at understanding each other, both on Twitter and on Discord, but ultimately when you're shown a different side of the internet that you're not used to seeing, and you find out that there's still those people out there that are legit just going to be as annoying and as rude as possible, not because they want to change your mind, they just want to be annoying to you because they think they're right and they're not open to a discussion. That's just depressing, honestly, and it makes me sad. Well, luckily, a lot of the mods brought up that raiding is against Discord terms of service, so when that kind of things happen, as a partnered Discord server, we are allowed to ban people from that. And I hate banning people from muting discussion, but I think the difference is it wasn't really discussion. It was more just kind of repeating yourself amongst people who clearly don't agree with you and just hoping that you're going to annoy them if you keep repeating yourself. And once again, that's not engaging in a discussion. That's not hoping that someone understands your point and sees it from a rational viewpoint and starts to agree with you and you can find common ground. It's literally just, how annoying can I be to this person because I don't like the same phone that they like, therefore I need to cause them discomfort. And it's really quite sad that people still think that way. So that was a little drama issue that we had to deal with today that I wasn't happy about, but hopefully moving on forward we don't have to deal with that as much. And I also want to thank a lot of the Discord mods that we have right now for doing a good job at damage control and making sure, hey, you know, this isn't allowed on Discord, period. It's not just our server. This is Discord as a whole rules that we're not supposed to be enforcing as a partner. And also raiding people non-consensually, I'll add. If you have a friend who's doing a live stream and you want your fans to go check out your friend's live stream, raiding in that sense is perfectly acceptable, and if that person consents to it, it's perfectly fine to raid others as long as they're okay with it. But when you're raiding someone not because they're okay with it, but literally because you just want to bother them, that's when I think it's ultimately so sad. And it reminds me of a 6-year-old complaining to their parents that they want an ice cream cone, and their parents say like, no, you can't have an ice cream cone, it's 9 in the morning. So the kid just starts screaming as loud as they can. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It's like you're not using your words, you're not using logic, you're just trying to be annoying and hoping that the other person stops because you're being annoying. I have a message to people like that. It's not gonna work. We have ways of ignoring you, and we're gonna keep doing that. So yeah, as Tim Cook would say, we have no place for you here. Anywho, I hope you guys are having a better day than I am, but ultimately I'm not having a horrible day. It's just a mild annoyance I have to deal with. As YouTube creators grow, you have to deal with more and more stupid people, and I accept that. It's part of the job. But anywho, thank you guys for watching, really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.